Hello everybody and welcome back to the September feature of the Up and Down. Once again, I'm Nia Frederick with Mass Golf, and this month I'm joined by Grace McKinnon, who's a Championships Intern here with the PJ Boatwright Internship Program, and she also has a very interesting background as a professional golf management major at Florida Gulf Coast University. So she's going to dive in a little bit about her expertise and knowledge on that sphere and how it relates a little bit to what we do with amateur golf. So take it away. How did you get started in golf? What is your program like? What does that look like for you? Just a little information on that.
Yeah, so I'm a senior at Florida Gulf Coast University. I'm a PGM student, which that means basically I study golf and I'll get a bachelor degree in science. Our golf program has a bunch of a variety, as you could say. We do play golf, but we compete against each other. We don't compete for the school, which is a lot of confusion between people who don't know what PGM is. So there's the D1 golf team and then there's us. So there's a couple of requirements that you have to get into this program. So obviously you apply to the school and then you have to apply to the program separately. So you can always get into the school but not get into the program. One of the requirements, for example, is that you have to be under a 12 handicap when you first get into the program, which is very interesting because it's difficult to be a 12 handicap, as all golfers would know. But yeah.
So what got you started in golf that you were interested in this program specifically?
Yeah, so I played in high school for my golf team. I eventually became the captain, the first female on the boys team, which was very cool. I'm very proud of that. But my dad really got me started into it. He just always told me, you have to get into golf because you want to be able to play when you want to go on a business meeting or anything like that. So I was like, all right, Dad. So then I just played golf and played in high school, and eventually it grew. And then one day my mom was like, hey, you should check out like this PGM program. And I was like, what is it? Like, what is that? Like, study golf in college? Like, why would I do that? It was just very out of pocket. But it was interesting. So then I ended up touring a bunch of PGM schools. There's only 18 accredited in the United States.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I toured probably 4 or 5 of them, and I just fell in love with Florida. I mean, how can you not? There's a golf course every 3 feet you go. So, and I met with my director, Tara McKenna, and Marty Hall, our internship coordinator, which 2 amazing women who run the program. I fell in love with them and they fell in love with me, and it was just destiny from there.
That's amazing. When did you start? How long is the program? And what did that look like for you in a day in the life?
Yeah, so as a PGM student, I'm required to take 4 internships. So we do one our freshman year summer, and then spring of sophomore year, and then junior year summer, and then spring of senior year.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are the requirements for that? Like, do you have to do multiple different ones in different selections, different categories of golf? Like,
nope. That's the great thing about our program, is our internship program, is we can go anywhere. So there's kids who go internationally, like, yeah, for a couple months, depending on who you are and what your situation is. But you can go anywhere, green grass, non-green grass. So I have a fascination with non-green grass. So as why I'm here at Mass Golf, trying to explore the industry and really get in depth with it and see where I can go with it. So yeah, I started in May and I will be ending on September this Friday, whatever that date is.
I think it's the 22nd.
22nd, perfect. I lost track of days. But
you've been here a long time. So yeah. What have those days looked like for you the last few months?
Yeah, so it consists of a bunch of things. So we do course setup, which we go out and mark the courses for our championships, our qualifiers, anything like that. Painting red lines, doing OB stakes, all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to events, that's the best part, is where we get to showcase what we've done and everything that we've worked up to this point and give it back to our members at Mass Golf. So day to day, we wake up nice and early, right before the sun shines. We set up our tents and everything like that, go set the tees, just get ready for the players to be coming in and get them ready to tee off. while they're out there playing, we're doing a bunch of stuff, make sure we're restocking the coolers and everything. That gotta stay hydrated.
And the snacks. You can't forget the snacks.
What's your favorite fruit snack that we have at Mass Golf?
Fruit snacks.
Fruit snacks?
Fruit snacks.
Oh yeah, don't you have a box of them?
Yes, yes. They're my favorite, but you guys keep them stocked for us, so that's the most important part.
Of course. But yeah, and then I usually, personally, I do scoring and everything like that. We do course cleanup. There's really...
Yeah. I mean, you guys are the reason the course is the way that it is. Yeah. I think, in my opinion, like our championships obviously wouldn't happen without you, but I think like the day-to-day work, those small little things that you do throughout the day are what makes these events come to life, which I think is so important, especially with the size of membership we have here and the size of fields that we put out at these championships. Like, it was all hands on deck from what I noticed. And I think too, something that I noticed is you always went above and beyond. You are somebody who is running around like crazy, making sure that everything is done, maybe even sometimes before it needs to be done. But you also worked on a team that was predominantly male. So talk me through a little bit what it's like being a female in this space and how you kind of went about your work, whether it was to stand out or not the way you did. But just like, you work in a boys' world, like we all do. It's a predominantly male-dominated sport in general, but your department is too specifically. So how welcomed were you into this space? You know, how did you feel on a day-to-day, and just like kind of make it your own, like make yourself comfortable in this space every day?
I've never felt more comfortable than I do at Mass Golf. Mass Golf team does a great, and not just the champs department, the whole Mass Golf operation really takes pride in making sure that everybody is comfortable no matter where you come from, what you look like, anything like that, which is always great to hear, and everybody's really welcoming and making sure that everybody feels good, right? Which is super important to have a good team environment. Being a female and being outgoing, that's just my personality. So it does help in an industry like this, just being able to talk to no matter who I'm talking to, whether I know them or I don't. It's great, honestly.
Can you explain a little bit how your perspective might have shifted on the game of golf in general from your knowledge that you have from the PGM side, everything that you've learned, more on the, I guess, professional golf side? I mean, what it's like to be on the business side there, to what it's been like working with amateurs in golf. I know, like you said, like it's hard to have a low handicap, and we work with a lot of players that do have really low handicaps, but it's still an amateur golf sphere versus the professional business side of things. So maybe how your perspective has shifted on the game a little bit there.
Yeah, so honestly, I found a shift where I brought what I learned at a green grass facility to a non-green grass facility. So basically what I mean by that is the customer service is a huge part, no matter where you are, what you're doing, anything like that. So having that member service is what our PGM students like to call it, is member service, is where we're constantly smiling, constantly trying to figure out what we can do better. If we never say no. We never say no. We always find an alternative. Anything we can do to make the member happy. And I brought that to Mass Golf, and I think it was very recognized. But I've learned that through my internships, so which is very hard to learn. You don't just pick up skills like that, which makes our program great, and that you get that learning experience. Running tournaments at a green grass facility is very different than it is to do an amateur one, just because at a member club that you would usually have tea gifts and do all these kind of fun stuff, make it really enjoyable, where this is more of competitive and serious play.
Yes.
So it's definitely a different vibe, where you have to be more cautious of learning to be okay, and just like making sure that you're not interrupting anybody in their thought processes and everything like that. How can you be helpful to them in that moment? But still bringing over that customer service is just treating them as kind as you can be. And
I think you do a good job with that. That's for sure. I mean, every interaction that you have with people, it just seems like no matter the round that they just had, you've always interacted with them on such a high level, which, I mean, if you attribute that to your PGM management or major there, or if you attribute that in general just to your personality and who you are, again, that's something that has not gone unnoticed, but I think you've done a great job kind of tying in that professional business side to the amateur side of golf that we represent here at Mass Golf.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we're gonna go rapid fire really quick.
All right.
What has been your biggest learning experience on the job?
Being able to persevere in difficult situations with all the rain delays this season.
That's for sure. Who in the golf sphere do you idolize the most?
Probably my director, Tara McKenna.
Amazing. One word to describe yourself.
Optimistic.
Favorite food that you've had on site this summer?
Oh, chicken sandwich at Denham Country Club.
Your biggest golf game strength personally?
Short game.
And what has been your favorite golf course in Massachusetts?
That's a tough one. Well, I was just at Cape Cod National, so I'm gonna have to go Cape Cod National.
Amazing. Grace, thank you so much for sitting down with me this month to be the feature. It's been a pleasure having you all season long. I mean, I'm sure many members can agree with that as well. You've just been so positive in every situation you've been in. You provided great customer service to our members.
Thank you.
We're gonna miss you. I hope everybody else agrees with me, but thank you so much for doing this with me.
Thank you. Bye guys, I'll see you next year.
You're speaking too soon on that one. Thank you everybody for coming and watching this month's feature. It's been a pleasure having Grace with us, and we'll see you next time.